A.J. Taylor in motion. They give it to the other Taylor. Straight ahead. He bounces it outside, down the sideline.
Jonathan Taylor with a huge pickup on the bounce here. Let's look at Wisconsin's blocking scheme. 34 is going to pick up this defensive end. This tight end will pick up this end. Running backs, you're going to have A.J. Taylor come this way before he bounces to the outside. This guy's in a jet motion to take both Hawkins. Ankley cuts in this way. Pulls from the left guard and left tackle, leading the way into this A gap. Down blocks from the center and the guard, picking up the defensive tackles. And then the play side tackle is going to pick up the backside to linebacker. So let's look at how they do here. Everyone blocks pretty well for Wisconsin. Notice how this guy does overrun this defensive tackle. So both 70 and the tackle are picking up Ross. That'll leave Pay wide open. So let's see how Michigan does. Again, backside, everyone's kind of getting flowed in. No one's really breaking through. The key to this play is going to be the following three players. You're going to look at Pay, Metellus, and mainly Lavert Hill, and a little bit of Glasgow as well. So let's move forward here. So here's the first issue. Jonathan Taylor's attacking here. You have Pay attacking horizontally. He should be coming into Jonathan Taylor. He's waiting. He's pushing into 71 instead of attacking Jonathan Taylor. So we'll see that again here. He does a good job working down the line. Missed block here. He should be attacking now. He's going horizontal. He's not attacking him. He's going horizontal here. Cannot get a good tackle here. So furthermore, both Glasgow and Lavert Hill are going backwards here. They should be filling this gap. Their shoulders should be more horizontal. Since they're flowing this way, they can't really see through these linemen. They're late to react to the bounce, and this tight end is there as well. And then finally, you have Metellus here. His eyes are trying to focus on where the running back is headed. He's blocked by all of these guys right here. He also has to account for maybe this gap, so he loses track of him. By the time he notices where he is, that's too much time for first-round future draft pick Jonathan Taylor, and he uses his speed to the outside.
Ferguson in motion. Jonathan Taylor running left with a hole. Taylor cuts it back inside, still on the move.
Inside zone run here with a bit of misdirection. I think it's inside zone at least. Let's look at the blocking. 85, 71 have one-on-one on Hudson. And Pay here. 78 is one-on-one on Josh Ross. You got one-on-one on 70 coming across the face here to pick up Hayden Hutchinson. 61 center is going to pick up the first linebacker coming to play side. You got a cut block here from the right tackle. And then you have Hawkinson who came, or Hawkinson, what am I saying? 84 for Wisconsin who came in motion here that took Ambry Thomas with him. He's just going to go on a route to try to occupy Ambry Thomas. Fullback is coming backside to pick up Uche coming off the backside. Taylor's going to the B gap here. So let's take a look here real quick. See, there's a giant hole filled by here. Pay is doing a poor job. He gave up way too much ground here. Looks like Josh Ross is getting held a bit there. Could have been called. Beyond that, main culprits here. Look at these three guys. Watch their initial reaction, then I'll cover it next. And then again, Pay gets turned pretty badly here. So the main culprit here mainly is Hawkins. He is fully committing to this motion from the Wisconsin back. Also, you have Metellus and Jamark Woods also shuffling this way. But Hudson is on the play side here at the time that he notices that Jonathan Taylor has the ball. The center is already in position to pick him up. You got Jonathan Taylor with wide open space coming here, and it's really hard for all three of them to flow. But really, Hawkins should be contesting this block, if not getting around it, allowing the other two safeties here to flow to the play. He's not in position. That gives Taylor all the leverage here to make a nice cutback and get down close to the goal line.
But another fumble. First down, Coan will throw it out of his own end zone. Drops it off to Jake.
Flood concept on a rolling rollout pass here for Wisconsin. Michigan's only sending 4 on the pass rush, the 4 down linemen. Meanwhile, you have Wisconsin keeping in heavy protection here. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7 will come in support on this side as well. So you have 7 against 4, easy protection here, and you can see they're forming this wall as well as the running back Taylor here in support here. No one really gets through for Michigan. You could argue that Pay is getting held. I think that's actually pretty egregious. Hutchinson does get away from his block, but there's a running back here to pick him up, so he gets cut down at the time of the throw, so no real pressure to note here. Routes for Wisconsin, as I said, is kind of a flood route concept, so outside receiver on the backside is coming just across the field here. Outside receiver is going on a deeper out to occupy the safety, and then this guy here, this tight end, is coming out on a little flat concept. This is the guy who's actually getting thrown to. So, issue I have here, there's only 3 guys out in pass routes, right? And let's take a look at all the guys that are dropping back into coverage for Michigan. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then Metellus back here. So you have 7 in pass coverage, and they're all kind of going to this intermediate level. No one is picking up the flats at all. So they all drop back, and it's mainly between these 2 guys. Lavert Hill is clearly focused on this guy, while Hudson is still in his drop. His eyes are on the quarterback instead of recognizing this guy crossing his face. So I'm willing to think, I'm betting that this is on Cleek Hudson. So this deeper receiver is picked up by Metellus. You got Hawkins on this backside receiver on the crossing route. Hudson simply doesn't recognize this guy in front of his face, while Lavert Hill is more responsible for this back third, I think. So late reaction by Hudson, easy pickup for like 10 yards.
Gordon. Second down and 3 at the 34. And here's Taylor again.
Clever play design from Wisconsin on this draw play with zone blocking. So you're going to have each of the linemen stand up as if they're in pass blocking. Same with the running backs. They're going to stand here. 44 will lead the way through the A gap. Jonathan Taylor will follow him after a beat here. Let's look at how Michigan kind of plays right into this blocking scheme. On the left side here, defensive end coming in on a twist, Glasgow to the outside. You're going to have Kemp coming really hard down the line this way. I think that's to open up a delayed blitz out of Josh Ross. And then you have a twist on this side where you're going to have Dana coming down here, defensive tackle looping around, and then you have one-on-one coverage out of Cleek Hudson as well. And then you have just the safeties over here, 2 defensive backs on this side in pass coverage. So you can see that 70 picks up this twist nicely. 71 is going to pick up Glasgow here. 61 is taking Kemp for a ride. That's really opening up this hole. You can see you got a double here, picking up this inside twist. And then on the outside, you'll have number 60 pick up this blitzer here. So the hesitancy is allowing Wisconsin to read what Michigan's twist is doing. That leaves one-on-one here with a ton of room for 44. Pick up Josh Ross. 84 here. We'll actually cover this block next, but you see Jonathan Taylor has a ton of room to choose where he's going to go. So 84 is just kind of reaching to Metellus here, the safety. He's actually, since Hudson is in pass coverage, he gets a 2-for-1 here. So only after Jonathan Taylor crosses the line of scrimmage does Metellus realize he's got to do something. So he's actually in pretty decent position here. He can't give up this outside. He has to fill this gap. Hudson is working off of this block, and you got Hawkins coming up. So they actually do the best they can to contain this to about 10 yards. Just good play design, and caught Michigan in a stunt.
Here's JT looking. First, JT, first down. Jonathan Taylor rolling. Touchdown.
Huge play on this kind of backside counter power play. So you have this guy coming in motion. That's to get Hudson and Uche flowing this way. 84 is just going to try to freeze Hutchinson before head upfield. You're going to have a double team between the guard and tackle on Josh Ross. 1-on-1 center. And then these are the 2 main pullers here around the outside that set the left side of this hole. And obviously Jonathan Taylor's going to come up and then bounce to the outside. So let's look at 2 main issues here. Right away, Josh Ross doesn't stand much of a chance here with these 2 blockers. He's coming up on a blitz anyway, so he's going to get blown out of the water. That's really going to set a big hole here. And then watch Kwity Paye here. He makes the other big issue here. So you know, as I said, Josh Roush just gets blown off the ball. Again, you got a guard and a tackle here against a linebacker. Not going to work out well. You got Jordan Glasgow flowing up. Pay is right here. He needs to have outside contain. He needs to be fighting right here, setting this left edge. Force Jonathan Taylor up here where you have help from Lavert Hill. Hopefully Josh Uche can scrape over. You got Glasgow who can hopefully come up and throw a boom into this puller. Instead, look where he's at. He's on the inside. That leaves that bounce back. The other issue that's kind of comical, right at the time of this bounce, right? You got Jonathan Taylor coming to the outside. Look at where Lavert Hill, he is transferring to the safety position, right? You had Brad Hawkins, who was originally here, who comes down with the motion guy. Now you have Lavert Hill coming this way. Right at the time of the bounce, he's obstructed a bit by the ref. I'm not blaming the ref here. It's just unfortunate that, and again, he's still bouncing and his view is still obstructed. He's looking here for the running back. He can't see that Taylor is bouncing to the outside. Only now does he finally get to see with this ref kind of still in the same way there. So it's just a bummer, but he's late to react. And with the speed that Jonathan Taylor has, and also on the outside, you have these two guys in routes that were occupying both the corner and Metellus. But with the speed that Taylor has, no chance for Hudson given that delayed reaction.
Situation, he will have to throw it more. Coan to throw, dumps it off. Rochette, first down, Badgers and more.
Clever little fullback flare here. Let's look at what Wisconsin is doing on the screen action. So number 4 here came across in motion. He's going to fake kind of a screen. That's to get Hudson to come up as well as Hawkins, just kind of distract them. Offensive line, obviously you have the flare out of here. You're going to have this wide receiver on a crack block coming to the middle here. On the offensive line, left tackle is responsible for backside. You're going to have all the linemen kind of let these rushers go before getting to the second level. So the center and guard excuse me, are reaching out towards this backside linebacker. In this case, it's Hudson. The front side guard and tackle are really the keys to the block. They're going to wait for a second before reaching out around the edge, set the perimeter for this little flare pass. So let's see how this develops. It's pretty well timed here. Let's take a look at the pass rush. Obviously, Michigan is sending 5 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then doesn't help anything that Glasgow is doing a twist here. That only helps, these guys getting to the second level wall him off as well. You got flows here, and then you do have Jamark Woods coming this way. Vincent Gray doesn't recognize that this is a crack block. He is following the wide receiver as well. So let's take a closer look at those blocks. So as I mentioned, Jamark Woods does a good job of recognizing where this fullback is going and rotating this way. Vincent Gray needs to do a better job of understanding that this isn't a route, right? This wide receiver doesn't look like he's running a route in any stretch of the imagination. He follows him a bit too long. That means he doesn't have outside leverage here. Gives a lot of room for this fullback on the outside. It also allows time for this front side guard and tackle. They have this leverage now. They have all of this. You're forcing on flow to the play. Both Gray and Woods are now blocked. Crack block got there. You have this. You have an extra lineman for Metellus. And it's just a successful play for about 20 yards here.
Under center. Here's Coan. Looking down the field. The receiver.
Play action wheel route here on 4th and 3. Good pickup here for Wisconsin. Going to have play action. This running back is coming in for pass protection on this left side. You're going to have 5 down linemen here. 6th man for Wisconsin being the tight end Ferguson here in pass protection. Let's see how they do. So you have these 3 linemen dealing with 2 defensive linemen here, one-on-one on the outside. And then you're going to have one-on-one with 71 on this defensive tackle. Tight end on Hudson, and this running back will have the responsibility for Glasgow's blitz. Let's see what kind of happens here on pass rush. So nothing really to note here, no pass rush, nothing really to note here. 3 guys who do win for Michigan. Hudson does get around the edge. You're going to have this defensive tackle kind of bully into, this is Kemp bully into this other defensive tackle. He will get eventual pass rush after this defensive tackle does fall down. So these guys kind of dwarf it up here, 76-61. And then Glasgow is coming through the C gap here. He will actually get contact at the time of the throw. So let's move forward here. You'll see what I'm talking about here. So this running back really overran on the play action, leaves this gap for Glasgow. That's the most direct path to the quarterback. You see right there, right as he's releasing, he hits his leg. So it kind of could affect the pass here. Again, you have Hudson and Kemp coming late as well, but it's a quick throw, so minimally affected there. Looking at routes, you got a wheel route. This is the main guy on the outside, and then you have you have a slant and out actually on this guy. His whole deal here is to create conflict between these two defensive backs, have them rub against each other. This guy's running a slant route as well. Eyes for Coan is on the middle safety, ensuring he doesn't fly over towards this wheel route. Right here, you can see this causes a little bit of conflict. This route, there's a little bit of contact between Vincent Gray and Ambry Thomas. That leaves a bunch of room to the outside for this pass. Well-delivered ball. At the end here, you can see Thomas explaining to Gray kind of what happened with the cross, the rub route. A little bit frustrated.
Coan for the Badgers. And here's the end around. A.J. Taylor still on the move. First down.
Jet sweep here to A.J. Taylor. Let's take a look at the backside first. So tight end here is going to Ambry Thomas. Backside tackle is to be one-on-one with Pay. Backside guard is going to take Kemp. Kemp actually gets good penetration here, but he has him one-on-one. And then the center is reaching to the backside linebacker. So let's look at how they do here. So like I said, Kemp is getting a bit of penetration here, but again, the action is to the outside, so not really relevant here. Given the action from the running back, that kind of freezes all this backside motion, so that's going to get Glasgow's eyes here as well as Pay, so they're not going to really be factors here. So you can see on the backside that Glasgow is no longer a factor. 61 is inside leverage. Pay is out of it. Kemp is not a factor, nor are these two linemen. So let's look at the front side blocks here, really where the magic happens. So front side guard, he's reaching out to Cam McGrone. Play side tackle is reaching for Hudson. This wide receiver is going out on Vincent Gray. Each back kind of guy is going to be the cleanup guy. So anyone that's flowing this way or the safety coming up, that's who this guy has. So you see actually that Hudson does beat number 60 here. He has outside leverage, so he actually wins one-on-one with his block here. He is not getting blocked here. Metellus is getting a free rein here. And Vincent Gray actually does a good job. He gets a little bit of push here. He forces a decision out of number 4, whether inside or staying outside, and he goes outside. Vincent Gray is able to keep his outside arm free, affect the runner here. Main issue I have is look at Hudson's path. He's still going backwards. He's taking the gap that Metellus should be filling. Metellus is correctly filling the outside here. You need Hudson to be right off of the hip here, out of Vincent Gray. At this point, A.J. Taylor is committed to the outside. He needs to be flowing up quickly and filling this inside gap, ensuring there's no cutback lane. Instead, he takes the same exact path as Metellus. They both overrun the play, and Hudson kind of forces Metellus outside. So instead of forcing the play to the outside into Metellus, he takes the same gap as Metellus. They both overrun the play, and that opens up a bigger gain than it really should have been.
2 of 2 today. Here's a quarterback sneak.
Quarterback sneak for a touchdown on 4th and goal. Lots of people rightfully upset about this play, this wide open gap here on the backside. Michigan elected to have Kemp, Dwum for Hutchinson, as well as their linebackers here. Expecting 78, 68 to be the lead blockers, as well as these guys, obviously. And this would be the traditional path on this play. I think it was an audible here from Wisconsin, recognize this giant gap backside, and an easy QB sneak. So, it's not a bad concept to have kind of the scrubber. That's what Space Coyote terms kind of this safety here on the backside, a grubber. It messes with the use the speed to shoot gaps here with your safety. There are advantages of putting a smaller guy on the defensive line. In a goal line situation on 4th and goal, this is a pretty easy block, and having this gap completely open, maybe it just doesn't really make sense, schematically. And Wisconsin, give them credit, they recognized it. It's 4th and goal. I think it's pretty inexcusable to leave this big of a gap open. I don't think it matters who you put here, whether it's Glasgow or someone else. It doesn't really matter. The alignment is what is the issue here. I don't think any defensive tackle makes this play. So Glasgow or not, it's more of the alignment issue, and that's just a schematics thing with this sort of formation. So I think Don Brown got here on this one.
In this first half, we start from the 43. Drops it off near side. Groshek break.
Quick pass to Groshek out of the backfield. Big pickup after the missed tackle. So Wisconsin's keeping in 5, just the 5 down linemen in pass protection. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in routes. Let's take a look at Michigan's pass rush here. Nothing too fancy, sending 4. You're going to have defensive line on this left side here crashing down. Long developing stunt here from Hutchinson, who's going to loop all the way around to the outside. The 3 offensive linemen who are going to deal with this are the center, right guard, and right tackle for Wisconsin. On the other side, all you have is Josh Uche rushing kind of on the outside here. He is going to bubble out a little bit, but you got 2 offensive linemen here, the left guard and the left tackle for Wisconsin to deal with that. So given how quick of a pass it is as well, nothing really gets home. They do a good job there. Clean pocket for a quarterback. Looking at routes, the inside receivers here, so the tight end is going on a seam as well as this inside wide receiver. This whole concept here for this tight end is to occupy and really clear out both Hudson and the deep safety on this route, and he accomplishes that. You're going to have a little shallow in route here, and then a bit of a deeper in route here. Not really relevant to this play. And then finally, you're going to have a little bit of an outside release into a quick out pass, and this is where the ball is being thrown. I want you to watch McGrone or Jordan Anthony, I think. Yeah, Jordan Anthony here in coverage. He hesitates just a little bit here. Not sure exactly why. I think he was maybe thinking he was going to go vertical and wanted to see if there's a double move. But either way, he's a little bit late reacting, and then he takes a pretty poor angle here. He should be going more horizontally to ensure kind of expecting this guy to turn up the field. Instead, he takes a poor angle and only gets the backside wrapped up here. Broken tackle makes this a big play.
Coan steps up in the pocket, decides to run it. Look at the breakaway speed. Can he get there?
Quarterback scramble for a touchdown on a play that makes me sad. Let's look at the stunt here that Michigan runs. So both defensive ends are going to fake outside before cutting inside, and then defensive tackles are actually going to loop around. So you have Hutchinson playing a 3 tech. He's going to loop around to the outside here. Dana on the inside here is going to loop around to the outside here. Given that Wisconsin only allocates 5 down linemen for blocking here, you're going to have a situation where it's 2-on-2 facing a tough stunt here. Let's look at how Wisconsin decides to handle this. So they're going to leave these 3 linemen on the left side to deal with the stunt on this side, and that'll leave the right guard, right tackle. So let's focus squarely on the right side here. So they both are focusing on Pay. Pay is splitting this gap here. Both 78 and 68 are focused there. That's going to leave room for Hutchinson on the outside. So the issue here is right now there's a juke that Coan is putting on Hutchinson, right? Look at Pay. Pay is falling down. He got shoved over by this guard here. That leaves this wide open lane. So that's the biggest issue on this play. Let's look at routes real quick. Running back is going out into the flat. Outside receiver here is running an inside release in route. You got sort of this seam out of the tight end. Middle receiver just outside here is running a flag route, and then you got a short in route on the outermost receiver. So this play really boils down to everyone's in great coverage. Everyone is, you got safety over top here, safety over top here, good coverage here, linebacker going out on running back, coverage here. So nothing's open at the time of the pressure. If Pay stands up here and he is putting pressure right here, there's nowhere for Coan to go, and it's very likely that he steps up into additional pressure. Since that gap is not there, he has free range to run to the end zone. Should have been a coverage sack. It's a touchdown instead.
Play in the second quarter, back in the game after experiencing leg cramps. And Taylor bounces it outside. Look at the bird.
10 yards for Taylor on a counter play that really should have been dead. Let's look at the assignments here for Wisconsin. Number 3 is going to go towards Hill before looking to the safety here. Number 80 is going towards the backside linebacker. Number 70 here is responsible for Pay. Center is responsible for Kemp. You have 34 coming through the A-gap for middle linebacker. Taylor's coming this way before bouncing on the counter action here. You got double team between the left guard and left tackle on the 3-tech. One-on-one 84 with Hutchinson here. And then number 4 is going to fake going outside before trying to reach the safety. And you'll see that Michigan has so many of these one. It's pretty insane. Let's start with Kemp. Kemp right away is pushing into this offensive guard while shooting this gap. This forces the center. He has no leverage here and also pushes 70 a little bit outside. That leaves more room for Pay on the backside to ensure no cutback lane is available. It also kind of delays 80 to get to the linebacker as well. So Kemp's jump off the snap really affects all these blocks, as well as Taylor having to cut this way right away. So that's first. So now you see Pay is here, and then watch McGrone on this fullback here, 34. Gets to the inside. So you got 2 players here. Cutback lane is non-existent, right? All right, let's look at the front side now. So you have this double team that we're winning here. We have leverage here, given this backside is going to be covered. We're doing well here. Now watch Hutchinson. Really good engagement here. Shucks him off. Outside arm free. And then you have Hudson right here. So let's watch Hudson. He needs to have this gap. He has all the defense, all the teeth of the defense is here flowing to the play. As long as he keeps outside leverage here, force Taylor back into it, it's at most a 2-yard gain. Boom, bounces outside. Similar, look at Vincent Gray's action. He is coming inside. He should be up here. He was hesitant. He didn't come upfield. If he's right here, again, where's Taylor going to go? He has to force, breaking tackles here. He has all this to fight through from the backside. Gives more leverage for Taylor on the outside. So no gap integrity here from Hudson and Gray really allow this to be, from a 2-yard gain to a 10-yard gain.
Groshek breaks through. Groshek, first down.
Really easy looking power play out of Wisconsin here. Let's look at their blocking scheme. Backside tight end here, 84 is going to pick up Hutchinson. These 3 linemen on the right side, including the center, are just going to down block to their left. Their lead blockers here are the left guard and left tackle. They're pulling this way. This first puller will set the right edge. 71, the left tackle will come through the hole for the linebacker. Action off the running back is obviously to this side following these 2 pullers. So let's look at Michigan. They really don't help their cause here with a design slant between Glasgow and the nose tackle, Kemp. So that's coming this way, and then you're going to have Cam McGrone here scraping this way. I'll point out kind of 2 areas that I think Michigan really missed the ball on this play. So first of all is Jeter. Jeter has free reign here, as does Pay. Pay is out of this play just by nature of where this hole is going, so I can't say anything about Pay's action. But Jeter sees this puller coming. He needs to attack, and attack fast. Instead, watch him at the point of contact. He stops, right? He's not pushing through this lineman. He's accepting this block. That allows this lineman to really set the right side of this hole. That's not good enough. That's way too much room. He should be trying to drive this guy back. He knows that he's coming. He accepts the block instead of driving through. Let's back up really quick. And then linebacker right here, McGrone, he's standing there. He's getting lost. He should understand that he's scraping this way. He should expect a puller here. He needs to be attacking this. He needs to be attacking this puller. Instead, again, he goes for a dive. It was a nice attempt, but he should be driving into this puller, make this a tougher decision for the running back. Instead, he has to go for an ankle dive while Groshek hits the hole. So given that lack of attacking these blocks, allow this really easy hole for Groshek to pick up a huge gain. Simply not good enough. Decent open field tackle out of Hawkins here, kind of in an island, so I guess that's okay.
Wisconsin career, first down, Coan on the move, drops it off. Jake
A little bit of deja vu here on a similar play that I covered that Wisconsin ran earlier. It's just a designed rollout kind of flood concept here. So the offensive line here is going to kind of form this wall that I drew here. It's not technically a play action. You're going to have Coan kind of coming out this way with the running back going like it is a run, but he is going to be in pass protection. So it's all about setting this sort of right wall as the quarterback rolls out to the left for these kind of flood concepts coming out here. So let's look at what Michigan's doing. They're only sending 4, again, with the mass protect here for Wisconsin, it's hard to expect any sort of pass rush. You know, Hutchinson's coming here. Everyone's essentially double teamed outside of Pay, and he's on the backside of the rollout. So no real pressure applied. If Hutchinson, you know, he beats his guy initially, you have 14 here to pick him up as well. Given it's a quick throw, not really a big thing. Routes for Wisconsin, on the backside, you have kind of like a deeper crossing route on a guy you can't see off to the right of the screen. 84 here is going to be the target. He's kind of running this into the flats. 4 is running a deep flag. His whole purpose is to get Gray out of this area. Gray has to be here. He will have safety help, but Gray needs to drop to prevent this. That focuses on, again, Hudson. And watch his eyes. Hudson has to have 84 here. Watch his eyes in the backfield. That'll be key for this play. He's right on 14, and he's already lost, right? This guy's already on his way out. By the time that Hudson realizes it right now, he's gone. He's wide open. He's already rolling. He's already looking at the pass, and Hudson is just now starting to react that way. Gray has a no-win situation. He has to follow this guy despite seeing this. He actually does a good job opening, or going back to the play once he recognizes it, but there's just way too much open field here for this tight end to turn up field. Good tackle by Vincent Gray, but again, got to trust your eyes, trust your keys, and Hudson was caught looking in the backfield a little bit too long. Another first down on a similar play from earlier.
Jack Coan. And this time, it's Shaw sprinting.
Huge run for Shaw here, multiple issues. So let's look at blocking assignments. Number 3 is just kind of running towards this safety. This way he's more clear out, trying to get the defensive back with him. You're going to have one-on-one on the outside between these two defensive tackles. Center is reaching towards this linebacker. This fullback will pull through the A-gap to also double team on Gill here. And then backside you have one-on-one blocks, 84, 71, 76 here, all on these 3 defensive tackles. Number 4 is just on a clear out route to get rid of the defensive back. So these guys aren't accounted for. So a couple things about Michigan that really do not make this play very good. Let's look at the hole first. So these 2 blocks are critical on setting right side of this hole, right? And they both get blown out. I don't know if they had a design slant this way, but they both get considerably moved here, and that sets a huge right side of this hole. Similarly, it's tough for Gill here. He has a double team here, but that does set this side of the hole. I blame more Kemp on this side and Pay as well for getting edged here. And then 3 players, I think, do a poor job on their assignments here. So first of all, Brad Hawkins is rotating back here, and he just turns his back on the play. So he doesn't know where anything is. Similarly, Lavert Hill is so wrapped up in number 3 that he doesn't keep his eyes in the backfield. So both these defensive backs are headed this direction without any sort of semblance of realizing what the play is. And then finally, you're going to have Gill coming up here, right? He's taking on blockers. Cam McGrone should have his eyes in the backfield. He should be flowing, replacing this sort of area that's vacated by Gill. Instead, what you have, no eyes on the backfield, that vacates this entire area. Gill comes up to take this block. That should allow McGrone to fill nicely here in order to shoot this gap to try to cut off this hole. Instead, none of these 3 players are in position. You combine that with a good double team here, a ton of movement on the right side, and he got a huge play.